All right. It's Jared here from Crypto Plan. How is everyone going? And I'm sorry that I've been off the YouTube for so long. Brief explanation. Yeah, it was quite sick, as in not really badly sick. Just had a cold for 2 weeks that was just messing with me, so I didn't do that. And then I got gastro bug or whatever, something, So it was just a couple of weeks of being sick. No reason why I haven't been on the air except for I don't feel like too much has been happening, and when every time I went to do something, I was like, "Is One Harmony going to break out? Is this going to break out?" And I just feel like everything's ranging. It's pumping up, and there's a lot of trading going on in the market now. A lot of trying to get people to FOMO in, but the pressure's building. So I think it's a good time to give an update on my thoughts. Anyway, I'm sure you've got loads of other YouTubers that you follow that are telling you every day that this one's about to pump and that one's about to pump and blah blah blah. Who knows when it's going to happen? But I'm going to point a few things out that I'm seeing. So we're on our One Harmony chart on the 4 hourly. But before we get into the video, and I will touch on all the coins that we look at on this channel, the game credits and the Hathor networks, and maybe a bit into Cake there, and a couple of other ones that I've put smaller trades into. Just to see what's going on and see the general trend in the market, and from my opinion anyway, because I was getting sick of myself kind of saying, oh, this is going to explode soon, and it will, in the time frame of a week, a month, 2 months. By the end of the year, this thing's going to go nuts. But, do I need to make a video every day about it? No. So I've just pulled back. I've been busy. We're out of lockdown. I'm catching up with friends, meeting new people, doing things, surfing, all that sort of stuff, enjoying life instead of, doing videos to try and get 500 likes, 100 likes or whatever, 100 views. Just enjoying life, because that's what it's all about, and actually focusing on the trading, which is, I guess why I started the channel, was to help people like you make money and make entry points at the right time. I'm definitely not in this to just kind of get YouTube money only. If I was, I'd probably quit my job and take a loan and, start advertising the channel and paying someone to do thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. That's why, you're lucky if you find channels like this and, they're under the radar, and you can watch it for that, I guess, the non kind of commercial opinion. There's no one pumping, paying me to pump coins on here. It's just a couple of coins that I'm invested in that I follow, and then a couple of other ones that every now and again that I like the look of from the charts, and then the odd mining stuff and the commodities and all that sort of thing. So all about making money on this channel. So that's the 2 minutes of the blurb of why I haven't been posting. I'm okay. Thank you for the comments asking, am I okay? One Harmony on the 4 hourly chart. For those of you that have been following for a while, we were always looking at this correction, and we're wondering when it was going to break out, and then we found a bottom, and then we've turned around, right? So it's just your typical cup pattern, your typical consolidation. After a big run up, you'll see many charts like this. They big run up, and then they just do a cup, and then they get out of there, they break into a new all-time high. So what I'm seeing is the potential of this pullback into the all-time high, right? Pulling back into the all-time high is quite a natural thing for anything. So don't hold me to that, but it would be quite normal for this thing to break out, then kind of retest this all-time high one more time. So I'm just going to grab, the actual ARC tool and just show you, because, the people that I learn trading off, learn chart analysis off, they bang on a lot about these ARCs, and I use them all the time now, because what it says is that this was always going to happen, So if you thought here it was going to break out to new all-time highs, it was never going to do that, So yes, back in the day, I was hoping here and here. I hadn't had that training. I hadn't had, that kind of advice and teaching that I'd learnt. But now, the more I do this, the more this is so normal. So you kind of touch the edge of this arc all the way down, find a bottom, and then, you kind of have another dip there. And then realistically, from a time perspective, if you like to be in the market quickly, to make money quickly, these kind of dips here, or even this one here, are your ideal entry points once this consolidation's happened, because you can buy the dip over here and buy the dip over here. But, for the discount that you get here and holding through all this stuff and the emotions that are there, straight over here, this kind of 9 cent dip, what's the difference between that 7 cents really for the time that you've had your money invested doing nothing? Whereas if you invested at the 9 cents over here and then the run you've had up to here, you could make a decision and go, well, I invested at 9 cents, got that dip, and then a couple of weeks later, 37 cents and sold out, right? So just be aware that this is what happens after a big run. You've got a lot of buyers up here that think it's going to the moon. They get exhausted as it corrects. They sell into that. Smart people start accumulating down here. Long-term investors that still have a bag down here, they're the ones buying this dip because they believe in it long-term. And then, the traders start getting in here. Once there's kind of these dips and we're getting up towards that all-time high, a pullback from the all-time high is the best time to enter, and you can see what's happened there, even from 11 cents up to 35 in a couple of days there, a couple of weeks, is a super trade. So like I say, expecting this thing to pull back into its all-time high. So it reached here, and then so it's going to pull back somewhere here. Is it over here in November? Is it kind of sooner than that? I don't know. I can't really tell you that. It's just when it happens. Another thing I would like to focus in on, if we look on this zoomed out view, look at all this volume down here. So we're going to grab our brush again and, so look at the spikes in volume all the way down here, right? So that was a consolidation pattern. That would have said to you, get excited about this thing. And we'll go to the weekly. So down here in this consolidation pattern, these dips were and I've said this all along, this is the time to be long-term buying. These volume spikes here, and other indicators, weekly volume, right there, and, any dip in that week, anything underneath this all-time high of like 1.3 cents back then, was an ideal entry point. The volume here is huge. And if we go back out to the 4-hourly, you can see that that's a combination of lots of little spikes at various times in volume, right? All the way through there. But you can see back here, not much has happened since then. So zooming in again, you can see that there's a little bit more action since, like I say, since this dip here and this dip here. And then, you're seeing some bigger spikes on that 4-hourly. But we haven't seen anything on the weekly. We haven't seen any major spikes in volume on the weekly. So that's another thing to know. As soon as you get any volume jumping up, into this kind of range here, so that's when you're like, I'm focused now on this chart. I'm focused on what's going to happen next, how high it's going to go. I'm probably scaling out if you're getting out in this cycle. If you're holding long-term and staking, then just ignore the charts altogether, because you're staying in for many cycles. But you can see here there's a bit of volume coming there, but it's kind of flat. So there's nothing telling me that this thing is going to go mooning anytime soon, even though you're going to see all the YouTube channels out there saying One Harmony is about to explode. It could, but I think because it's such small volume, any explosions are going to be sold off. That's my opinion there. But like every coin, and especially this one, because it's been following the rules of the ARC, big pump, ARC consolidation, and then it's going to go reach out for one new all-time high, up in our, 80 cent to 2 cent range, 2.5 cents max. Our 80 cents to $2.5 range at somewhere in there. And it'll definitely be a wick up there. I think, in general, it's going to hover around $1 for a long time. So that's where it's heading. When it's going to head there by the end of the year sometime. So I'm not going to get in here and try and give you any false hopes. The reality is that this market is very rotatey at the moment. It's you're seeing things pump and you're seeing things dump, and people are chasing that, and that's fine. It's a perfect time to be a day trader, and that's why I'm going to look at some of the, not the day trades, the weekly trades, or the shorter term trades are out there, because that's what I'm into at the moment, because that's just going to boost your little cash pile. for the day-to-day expenses. So that's why I do a little bit of trading and mostly long-term investing, because that seems to be the consensus around the town, around the markets in general. That is the best way to make the most money, is, have a portfolio and then 5% of it you trade, and the rest of it you kind of just accumulate and hold long-term. So that is that. One Harmony, it's done what it was meant to do. It broke out to new all-time highs when it was meant to do. Go back and look at all my videos. It was a pretty consistent prediction. Once we realized that it was going to correct a little bit deeper, it just played out that arc pattern beautifully, and we showed that there. So I'm going to move on next to game credits. Now, game credits is another beast altogether. It's seen a previous bull run. So unlike One Harmony, it's old enough to have seen a previous bull run. I get all sorts of mixed comments on this channel about game credits. Some people are like, it's a shit coin. Some people are like, they're diehard like me. I'm not diehard on the project. I'm just diehard on the mathematics of the chart. So, from 1 cent down here, or even like, my cost basis, which is around 6 to 8 cents or something like that in this zone here, to all-time highs, and we're just going to remind ourselves what that is a lot of percent. So it's, 6,400%, right? So if we were to make it back to all-time highs, 10,000% from the cost base I have. Now, I am clear on this channel of when I'm buying, and I was accumulating again anywhere from 30 cents downwards, and bought the dips at various times all the way through here. Not 100% happy with that, as in I wish I had have just waited till it got back down to 7 cents to a reaccumulated and possibly sold everything at here and bought back in. But you live and you learn. It is. I am still new to this, so I need to forgive myself and take the lessons when they happen. So you can see what game credits has done, and yes, buying at this cost base is great, but another thing I want to point out is, looking at the volume is great. So you buy here, goes all the way up. If you're patient, you wait here, and then bang, you've got this week where volume spikes again, and that was last week. And that's an indicator that things are starting to happen again. People are coming back into this particular coin. And once again, what is it? It's this correction based on an arc, and once it gets to that right hemisphere and kind of grinds its way up, taps, gives a little dip, and then, if you buy that dip and then bam, what does it do? 30 cents the next day. So if we go down to that 4 hourly, might be able to get a better kind of picture of that. Where we can see the way the arc plays out, so a high, dip, tap, kind of goes sideways to the other side of the arc, breaks down out of it a little bit, but touches the bigger arc. This was the time to be reaccumulating again, and then, the indicator to maybe sell on that short-term trade was that volume spike. But essentially that spike's just saying that's where price wants to get to. So it's spiked up there, pulled back, and then it's creeping its way up there again. So that's saying this is a good key breakout level. Once we need to break 33 cents there, it's through a retracement, then it's kind of into new all-time highs. But the beauty of this chart, and for those of you that do or don't believe in chart analysis, is that I use these volume profiles on the right hand side here. See the colorful thing? So once we're above that all-time high again, it's a complete vacuum all the way up to what I'm saying $1.80, but then even higher to $2.50, and then all-time highs. So it is a complete vacuum there from a buy-sell perspective. There's no one trapped there. There's no heavy volume there. It basically was up there. People sold off really quickly down below this 30 cent level, and then it went lower, right? So there was no one really buying at this point. People were just selling. So anyone that was buying at this point probably got down here and sold out. So from that perspective, you're not going to have people holding from this range all the way to here and then selling out. You might have the odd person, but to hold for 4 years and get to that point and then sell because you're like, wow, I've broken even, you're kind of probably doing it wrong, because I would just hold on a bit longer and maybe wait till you get back up to that $1.80 and actually take a profit after 4 years. So yeah, there's definitely a vacuum. Once we break out again, over geez, even over 40 cents, you know, you're going to see the price move very quickly. And even at a price where it is at right now, which is 22 cents, you know, all the way up to that $1.80, it's still a good multiple of a trade, you know. So it's, what is it, you know, 22 cents up to $1.80 there is somewhere in the, you know, 6x range. So, you know, not so bad at all, when you think about other things like, you know, how much Bitcoin or Ethereum or, you know, is going to, you know, double, it might triple, you know. So game credits is still well below its all-time high, and there's potential for gains. Now, just be aware it's a low liquidity, low market cap coin, so you wouldn't be putting everything, you know, you're not going to be putting all your money into this. It's just one that's out there that's a little bit lower in market cap, and you're going to have to chip your way into it and chip your way out of it. At some point, don't be expecting to put, you know, remortgage the house, buy game credits, and then take out a, you know, 20x gain from here and walk away. That's that. But game credits is doing all the right things. Like I say, we're at the right point on the right hemisphere of this larger arc for some big explosive moves, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened very soon based on the volume that is coming in here. And that is from a chart analysis perspective, not from the fact that I hold a bag of these coins, which I do. So I would just be very happy when it does break out into, you know, these levels here, the $1.80 plus, because I'll start scaling out again, and I'll be happy with all the waiting I've done holding onto this bag. Hathor Network. So this is another favorite project of mine. I actually do like the fundamentals of this project. I do follow it on Twitter a lot. I do understand that this has a use case and it is got great potential in the future. So if there was going to be a coin where I potentially would hold on through to the next cycle because my cost basis is so low, it would be this one. But the reality is that I probably won't hold much of it because it's going to break out. It's going to retrace back again to another level in a bear market, like everything does. But looking at it from, you know, this kind of technical perspective, I'm not using the arc today. I'm just using, you know, key levels and these channels. You know, it just seems to be playing ball in a channel. So big sell off, double tap, you know, bottom back down to kind of this level, these levels here, these accumulation levels, 25 cents, works its way through a channel, you know, like into the kind of the 78% or the 70% retracement level, gets rejected there, pulls back down probably to the 50% level or 20% level. And then now I can see that it's going to work its way through this channel all the way up to all-time highs, potentially break out, and then probably pull back, back test, and then flying out of there. So when is that? Once again, towards the end of the year in December. But I like Hathor. It plays the game. It's you know, its volume is consistent, but what I'm looking for is a real pickup in volume, a real spike in volume. And if we just go to that 4-hourly chart, you can really see how it's just followed the rules of these channels, you know, very well. Since back there in July. So channeled its way all the way up, pulled back in a channel, and now it's pulling up in a channel, you know. So even when it broke out of there, it quickly kind of broke down from there, it quickly kind of jumped out of there. So you could be scared here, oh, is it going to break down? No, it's just a fake down. And then bang, it gets all the way up into the solid middle of the channel. So, you know, it's easy to trade these things on the short-term time frames if you are a day trader, or, you know, a swing trader is like, you know, buy here, sell there, buy back in here, sell there, you know, if you can short it, you know, short it all the way down, buy in here again, sell there, buy back in here, sell when it touches the top edge of the rail, right? So very easy when you've got, you know, evidence that this particular project is following a channel of trading. You know, it helps you out as a short-term trader if the charts tell you the story, and hopefully it does the same thing again. And just finally, kind of this one came on my radar on, you know, like I use Coinspot in Australia, and this 10x pay token, know nothing about the project, just like the chart. You know, I like the fact that it was launched in 2017, so it basically saw, the top of the last top of the last bull run, and it's pulled all the way back, and then it's done this consolidation. And it's low compared to its all-time highs. So I like that because it's got, once again, a big jump. Once it breaks through this 23-cent level, there's a vacuum up there all the way to the top of $5. So I actually did take some profits on One Harmony at its recent high because I knew that it would kind of sell off from the breakout that it had. So I took some profits on that, thinking, if One Harmony dips, I'll buy back in again and, kind of do a short-term trade on that. But what I've actually done is made an entry into this one because I liked the fact that it was these touches on the right hemisphere and the fact that there's some kind of volatility and some volume coming in there. So I'm going to potentially trade this one up to its next pump, wherever it is, and then go out into cash again. And then if at the time Harmony dips again or this thing dips again, just kind of do a bit of short-term trading on that because, like I say, it's a good time to be making money on your money if you're into trading because things are quite volatile and they're starting to break out and rotate. So that's the story there. I'm not selling One Harmony because I don't believe it, and I'm selling in it to maximize my profits at the end of this bull market. It could go against me, it could go for me, but that's just the reality of it. I've put this 10x pay token on my radar. I think its ticker symbol is PAY, and I'm hoping, I've got a sell order somewhere up here, just above these breakout levels here. So that's the story there. Just new coins to put on the radar. Other ones I've been looking at is still accumulating a bit of ICP. Once again, it's at that decision point on the right hemisphere of the arc. Could see a big spike in that anytime soon. Dent was another one that was kind of getting very exciting there. Once again, coming through the arc, made an all-time high. Good time to buy there, but consolidating nicely above a breakout level, or just under a breakout level. So that could fly off any time. Another one I like is Cello. Definitely these larger wicks saying it wants to kind of break through a ceiling are very exciting for me. This volume here, very exciting, but still, when will it happen? I don't know. So you've just got to pick your coins and hopefully pick your winners when they're just about to pop and not get trapped inside things that give these little pumps, think they're going to go up high all time, and then they pull back. So that's the story there. Not much else to report. I thought I'd make this a nice long one because I won't be making lots of videos in the short term. I probably will jump on when things get a bit exciting just to check in and keep it real and let you know when I am scaling out and exiting the market, because that is the time that's coming up. November, December, January are the times when things will be going nuts, and that's the time to be selling into the volume, into the strength. Best time to be selling. You don't want to be selling on the other side when the volume's going down. Volume's high, but it's sell volume, and you kind of just taking what you can get. So that's the story there. I've been Jared. This has been Crypto Plan. I hope that helps you understand where my head is in the market. Things are getting exciting. Things have retraced. They're ready to explode. When that will happen, I don't think it's an overnight thing. I think it's kind of like cyclical in a week. Last weekend it was going nuts. A lot of things were pumping. This weekend, not much is happening, so it's all about the rotation in between Bitcoin back into your alts, new people coming into the market, all that kind of thing. So there's a little bit of teasing going on out there, but it is, slowly that the market's heating up again. And before long, we'll have those parabolic runs, all-time highs, and retracements back into bear markets. So yeah, that's the story. Like and subscribe, all that stuff if you're into it. And I'll catch you on the next one, whenever that is. Bye now.